welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Double D Podcast. As you can see, we are here, and we have a special guest. Getting into it, we got Epic Kitty Face, we got a random nerd, and the special guest is Hanrald Blackstone from the Hanrald Blackstone Side Quest podcast. So I appreciate him from coming out, and if you guys are interested, please go check out his podcast as well, as I am a co-host to him on that one. So you get double me and double him if you check out this episode and hit one of his. So
the awesome. Double D.
Well, yeah, welcome to another episode, guys. I'm excited to get into this. It's a boys only. Shout out Tiger, though. You know, you're still our favorite, at least mine compared to the other guys. You know, but it's I mean,
she's awesome.
She comes with knowledge. She comes with facts. You know, she's engaged all the time. So shout out Tiger for sure. Fuck Mac 2024. That's how we're rolling. Got to keep that motto going. But
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, we have to get it out of the way. But let's get into it. Kevo,
yes.
You got anything for us? I know it's been a while since we came from news and got news from you. It could be world, it could be USA, but it's been a while. Okay. But let's get back into it, man. What you got for us?
Okay, so when you get on the plane, what's your biggest nightmare on getting on the plane?
You know, it's there's two things. It's an engine going out, and a panel ripping off of a thing. So I think I know exactly where you're going with this.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, over the week, over the last few days, an FAA grounds a 171 Boeing plane after mid-air blowout on Alaskan Airlines jets. The Federal Aviation Administration said that the inspections would affect 171 planes. On Friday, the Alaska Airlines flight had to take an emergency landing after takeoff from the U.S. state of Oregon. Now, United Airlines says that it carried out inspections required by the FAA on some of these 79 Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes. And earlier, the FAA said it wouldn't order the temporary ground turn of the 737 MAX airplanes. And after Friday's incident in Portland to Ontario, California, had reached a 16,000 feet when it began its emergency descent, according to the flight tracking data. The chair of the National Transportation Safety Board, which is investigating the incident, confirmed on Saturday that nobody has been sitting next to the affected section.
Okay, that's good.
We are
at least
very fortunate here that this didn't end up in something more tragic.
No, thankfully.
She added that the investigators believe that the door that came off the plane was now in the Cedar Hills neighborhood in Portland, and urged anyone who found it to contact local police.
Yeah, I'm weak.
Yeah. So imagine you just wake up the next morning and all you see is just an aircraft emergency door on your yard.
True. And honestly, if you think about it too, though, like thankfully that didn't land on anyone or anything.
On anyone.
You know?
That's what I was just about to say. Like, you go outside and you just see a big ass, like, not a big crater, but like a little mini crater in the ground, and you, what the hell?
It's not Yamcha.
It's a plane door.
Yeah, it's not Yamcha.
Poor Yamcha.
I'm not even gonna lie. In all honesty, I would have called the authorities, but I would have hurried up and made like some kind of like footage of it so I could have proof that like when it popped up on the news, be like, hey, that was me.
That was my house.
I seen that door first. I got proof.
And luckily, where that aisle is, nobody sat there, so nobody would have got sucked out.
No, that's awesome.
Like, when I read that, I was like, that's actually very fortunate. That's very fortunate.
I thought about Final Destination, the first one.
Just reiteration of keeping your seatbelt on. Like they do it, and I was like, oh, this is uncomfortable. It's stupid. Hopefully this scares those people and keep your freaking seatbelt on.
I did read on an article that one kid had to be held down the entire time and that many people lost their phones to it as well.
Oh, yes. I heard about someone's phone surviving on Twitter. It survived 16,000 feet.
What? It did?
Wow.
Yes, an iPhone survived a 16,000 foot drop. Now, if I was Apple, I would promote that.
Facts
For the market.
ASAP. Like, hey man,
Free
listen,
marketing right there.
this phone just fell from 16,000 feet in the air, and it survived. What other phone can do that? We
Knowing
don't
Apple,
know, but Apple
they'll
can.
probably lie about what case was on it and all that other
Yeah.
shit because they love their very false marketing.
Mhm.
But
That's
Anybody who calls Apple-
insane.
honestly, it don't even matter if it had a OtterBox
Facing
case or not. That's a high ass fall. That phone shouldn't have survived that. The shock itself probably should have at
Cracked
least
it.
fucked up the screen.
Unless
Well,
it
it was
fell, unless it fell like straight on its back, or like it landed like
Yeah.
perfectly up and down and landed in some dirt, like just you know what I mean, just
And
or some sand. Yeah, it just landed perfectly. You know.
Yeah, the
That's
details matter.
crazy,
because I'm
though.
not even gonna lie. I've been an Apple, user for a while, and it's been a couple of times now. You know what? I have seen increased durability with their phones because my phone got ran over and it didn't crack or anything.
wait, how the hell did it get ran over?
So I didn't realize my back pocket was I guess a little bit shorter than what it was, and I had my phone in my back pocket, and I tried to I didn't try to.
Why is your phone in your back pocket to begin with?
Because I was
Yeah.
rushing. A car was letting me go. It was traffic, so I just hurried up, put my phone in my back pocket.
Interesting.
And I took 3 steps. 3 steps. That motherfucker flipped out my back pocket. The car kept going.
That's what
I
you
was
get for
like-
having your phone in your back pocket.
I was like, no. I picked up my phone. It was perfectly fine. The cameras and everything was still intact. I was like, okay, a win is a win.
Now,
Ran across the street.
what is it? Does that make the airline responsible for replacing the cell phones? Is that like
Yes,
Is
Yeah.
that like a?
Hell
that's
yeah.
their insurance. That's their
They was gonna-
insurance. Yep.
They was gonna be responsible for any incident regardless because it happened on the airplane. They was
That's
gonna
fair.
be
On there,
careful.
Of course, now
on
they're
their
looking in to
account.
see if that's a maintenance issue or if that's a manufacturing default. So
And they gotta
that's
check
kind of what they're looking
everything.
to. Yeah.
They gotta check
So if
everything.
it's a maintenance issue, then the airline is responsible. If it's a manufacturing issue, then it's on Boeing. And Boeing is already kind of hurting because there's other plane manufacturers around the world that are making their planes look like shit. So it's kind of getting there to the point where we might start flying another brand of plane here in North America because, to my knowledge, Boeing is the only North American manufacturer that sells like the jumbo jets and shit.
Yeah, and that's actually in Washington too. And so the main company like factories in Washington, one of them. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. Just
Well, they're the ones who
fun
put
fact.
Concorde out of business back in the 70s or whatever, because Concorde
Yeah, I
used
wouldn't know.
Rolls-Royce engines or something built out of Europe, and they're like, no, these aren't American engines. So they made the laws change, and Concorde only made the 4 planes. And I'm like, why would you do that when you could actually make the flights much shorter? When you can go from like New York to Tokyo in 4 hours.
Right.
So I don't know.
And then also, I want to talk about think of the horror you got to go through your mind being through that. How traumatic that had to be.
No facts.
Not only that you're up in the air. Think about the depressurization of
Yep.
when you're that high, there's less air up there.
Yeah, like you can't breathe very well,
And-
even with the
and the
oxygen
picture-
masks.
The picture they showed, they didn't even show the oxygen masks hanging. So
No,
did they
that's
even
what I
have to
seen.
fly?
They should be falling down no matter what height you're at.
I was like,
Yeah,
I
but
low-key
the-
thought the same thing.
The picture of the guy sitting opposite to the row where he shooting out the door once the plane had landed, I didn't see any oxygen masks at all hanging.
No.
I didn't see a single
But-
one.
I don't know. I mean, it was 20 minutes into the flight,
Focused
so
on with that door being ripped open, I was like,
I'm just kind of thankful it wasn't on my flight. I just got done flying recently.
Yeah,
come on,
that's
bro.
why.
Why you
So it
gotta
literally
do
happened a
that,
day
bro?
after. Like it happened a day after I landed. And thankfully, no, there was no casualties on this plane either. And I still
Okay.
Why do you
feel for
have
the
to
people.
say-
But I'm glad, man. I made it safe, and I'm
So-
glad everyone was safe on the plane as well.
Why
Oh,
do
and
you
yet-
have to even put yourself in that energy? Why?
because he
I'm-
flies.
I do fly.
Actually, I just saw the video of some recorded for the flight. The mask did come down.
They did eventually come down.
They did come down. So
Okay.
And yet, statistically, flying is actually the safest way to travel.
Mm-hmm.
There
I
are
know.
there are less plane accidents and crashes than anything else, but because you're not in control of the vehicle, that's why people are so terrified of it.
Take a risk.
Yeah.
You know?
And then
Every
you
time.
add the fear of heights on top of that, and it's just it's a double whammy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I flew one time and I'm like, I don't think I could do this too much. I'd rather like be in a car or
Or the
I
bus.
honestly I'd rather see it's fucked up for me because I can't swim. I'm scared of heights. So it's like getting on a boat gonna fuck me up. I'll be motion sick and scared and shit of the water. On that plane, I swear for like the first 5 minutes, I was like, damn, these
Oh
clouds
my
look
God.
real beautiful. And then I looked and seen some water and I'm like, wait. If something was to fucking happen to this plane,
They
I'm
got
gonna be
rafts and stuff. Like,
around
no,
for-
you'll be fine. They got a
Nah,
bunch of
Believe it or-
stuff.
Believe it or
I
not,
can't
the
swim, bro. What are the odds to me? One, getting one of them blow up things, and two, actually landing with it.
I mean, Dekel, eventually we're gonna have to go see Devin, so we gotta get on the
True,
plane.
bro. True.
I know. I'm gonna get on a plane, bro, but it's like, damn.
well, contrary to popular belief, the flight attendants are actually like trained in a lot of safety things. Like people are like, oh, you just bring the food along and look at my ticket. No, they I have a friend of mine who's a former flight attendant, and they do a lot of things that people just don't even think about. And the kinds of things they're responsible for is ridiculous. Like they're even trained to walk when the plane is like in emergency descent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like there's a whole shit ton of things that people don't even think about. And you don't fuck with them either, because they have the right to restrain you, which is another thing a lot of people don't really know. But it's maybe not in the U.S. because you guys have a lot of air marshals on the
Yeah,
plane, so that
we
might
have
be an air marshal decision. But I do know that legally you have to respond to the flight crew. They're the ones in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of flight attendants have a lot of training. Some of them are even ex-military, all kinds of stuff. So
Yo,
it makes your flight kind of interesting, especially when you see all the funny videos of the guys doing silly voices and what have you, and then you find out, oh yeah, this guy's also an ex whatever military person, but he doesn't look it. So it's actually kind of funny, but I've seen people get their asses handed to them on planes for legitimate reasons, and the flight attendants you just don't fuck with. If they like you, they're gonna save you first. Look at it that way. If something goes down and they like you, they're gonna help you.
remember,
So
Well,
treat your
nice
flight
to
attendants nice.
Yeah,
Exactly.
give them chocolate. Give them chocolate or a $5 gift card to Starbucks. Something. And besides that, I want to talk about the craze that is going on in Target right now.
And
Can
where?
any of you get in Targets?
Oh, it's the Stanley Cups.
Yep.
Oh man, bro, I mean, Stanley's been around for a while, but like,
Yes.
but now that they've reached their target audience and
TikTokers.
and females that love cups and big cups and stuff like
And
that,
they love Target.
they love Target. So why not make different colorways and drop them in Target?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen
At a
people line up
Starbucks at that.
Starbucks too. And I've seen people line up from videos on itself since 6 in the morning and they don't open plate.
It's crazy, bro. It's like it's the new Pokemon, but for girls.
Yeah, it's a new
I'm not
Pokemon
even
card.
gonna lie. Like, if it was like a Pokemon Cup or something like that was like famous, I don't even watch sports. But if it was like some Chicago ex Pokemon, you feel me, team collab, I low key go grab that.
But I feel
So-
like that's like what we're talking about is like they're not collabing with anything. It's just Stanley making different
No, they're
colorways,
changing
like
colors.
pink,
Wait,
red,
didn't-
orange, purple. Like they just make different colors and they drop them at specific times. They drop the heavy
thought it
pink or
was
whatever for
collab.
Valentine's Day coming up and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
I
they'll
thought it
probably
was
drop it.
Starbucks.
No, they're kind of like the
And people are
Starbucks
buying-
cups, but
Yeah.
Okay.
And no,
And
like people are
to
going
the point where,
crazy about them.
So it's just a regular cup.
yeah, and to the point where
Oh wait,
Target
you
has
know what?
to.
I think I know exactly what cups y'all talking about because
The lady with
He
the
just
car
got
fire.
real quiet. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Kevin, go ahead.
That
That too.
yeah. Like you said,
I'm gonna tell y'all
the
later. I'm gonna tell y'all later. I'm not gonna embarrass nobody on the live, man.
the car that got on fire of the Stanley Cup surviving. Remember that video 3 months ago, 4 months ago?
I do
Yep.
remember that video.
That's why it got popular. And not only that, people are going so crazy where they're trying to buy the whole lot of all the cups. Where Target had to make a statement saying they're limited people to only 2 cups.
Yeah, because I mean, I was watching people in the video grab like they would stick their hand through and they grab 5 of them and walk off. I'm like, bro, these cups are like $50. Like they're not cheap. They're not cheap.
And also the resale market is
It's
crazy.
oh my
The
gosh.
random pink cups are going for $200 to $300 on eBay and Amazon.
Oh my goodness.
itself.
And yet that's not happening up here in Canada at all.
No,
Really?
Nope.
Philly,
Like-
America.
For
Only
starters,
Americans,
Target left Canada because they did very poorly. Target came into Canada. They were here for 2 years. They went bankrupt and left.
Interesting.
And all the Stanley stuff that you see here are just the generic things at Walmart. Like they don't do any of the specials or whatever. And the reason for that is the demand is so high in the States. Why would you ship it across border when you know it's going to sell in the States?
Yeah, that's
So
fair.
in like 6 months to a year from now, we'll get them, and everybody like, hey, I remember this pink Stanley Cup, and just snag
Pretty
one.
much.
There's going to be no hype around it. The other thing too is the consumer culture. This is something you guys might not be aware of, just because you guys live it. Is the consumer culture in the States is very different to anywhere else in the world, right? So in Japan, you'll have people line up for collectibles, but it's all very quiet. It's, I go in, I get my one and leave. In Canada, like the Black Friday is the one I always point to. So there was a video of a guy who broke both of his legs at a Best Buy in the States on a Black Friday because he got trampled over. That same day, same company, the Best Buy employees are just like applauding people as they're single file walking in. No one's rushing. There's no fighting. There's no screaming or anything like that. And the culture is very different. But the problem is that you guys have the population where supply and demand is the issue, right? You live in a city of like 10 million people, like New York or something, but every store, and there's maybe 10 stores in the city, only have 1,000. You got to get there or you ain't getting it. Whereas here,
everybody fighting in these lines.
right. Whereas here in Canada, the population is so dispersed that you don't have that, right? It's a very different world. And if you guys buy stuff from Canada, your conversion rate just makes it super cheap. I just don't know what the tariffs are going your guys' way. I know that the tariffs coming our way is stupid expensive, but it's fascinating because from the world view, you guys are all crazy rioters as far as what we see, because we always see the extreme videos, right?
Right.
But the consumer culture in the States is literally just supply and demand. Because there's 400 million people in your country, there's less than 45 million in Canada.
I'm moving to Canada. Word.
Oh, it's peaceful, it's quiet. I was reading a stat the other day.
My brother.
I'm Canadian.
Facts.
I was reading a stat the other day. It was Canada had less murders in the entire year of 2022 than New York did in the month of January for 2022.
Yeah. Well, damn.
It was really weird.
But these people over here, they started listening to that rap music and then started taking them drugs. Next thing you know, they
Yeah, take them drugs. Let's go. I'm with it. I'm just kidding.
No, we
don't
don't-
do drugs, kids.
yeah,
We're
don't.
we're not perfect up here, so don't go quoting me saying that we're perfect.
yeah,
We're
I get
not.
what you're saying,
But-
but yeah, they look. I already know. I'll be watching the little videos and stuff. We be listening to the songs. I'll just be like, look, see.
Just look at
As-
the Kel and that's all you have to say.
as-
Don't do drugs.
As all you got to do is just not watch South Park and listen to the song "Blame Canada."
Blame Canada. Blame Canada. Da, 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 da.
I love playing the blame game. It's fun. No, I want to talk about. I don't know if you guys have been looking into the news. I don't know if you have anything else, Kevin, but I wanted to talk about this topic. Gypsy Rose. You guys been keeping up on that? No. Okay. So wow. She went to jail for the murder of her mother. Except for what happened
Oh,
was.
yes. Oh, my God.
So what happened was her mother was like feeding her cancer pills and like I forget what the actual like thing is called for it, and I don't want to look it up right now if someone else could, but her mom was like forcing her to be sick, yeah, pretty much, and saying that, oh, you're sick, you need to, like, faking leukemia,
You need everything.
doing all this stuff. And so
Hulu made a kind of like a, sorry to cut you off. Hulu made a series about that a couple of years ago.
ooh, I'm gonna have to look into that. But no, so yeah, her boyfriend, at the time back then, apparently, to help murder her mother, and she went to jail. Everyone was like, free her. Her mother did this, blah 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 blah. It's all on her mother. But she's free now. She just got free about 2 weeks ago, I believe, or might have been a week ago. She has a new boyfriend, except for her. What everyone's going around in the picture is her new boyfriend look exactly like her mother. It's kind of weird.
Oh, yes.
It is kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but that's besides the point. My girl's free. She's free. She ain't do nothing wrong. That's how I viewed it in my eyes. But the guy the guy who murdered her mom is still in jail. I don't think he's
a
free
link
yet.
to how she looked like.
Okay.
Like at her sickness.
I'll put that link in the description for the people. I just don't have to necessarily to bring it up on the pod right now. Next time I'll make sure I'll have a way to bring that
She's
up.
She's like one of them scary ass Resident Evil people off Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, her mom fucked her up. It's bad. It was really, really bad.
Oh, it's
really, really.
It was
scary.
awful. But she's free now, and she took a picture. She posted it on social media, and that went around like crazy fire. Saying free, or I'm glad she's free. Look at her glowing, blah 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 blah. She looks great. But yeah, Gypsy Rose is free, y'all. How do y'all feel about that?
Well, I mean, in that sense, she ain't doing nothing wrong. So, at least in my opinion. So
it's a tough thing,
because I mean, of course, don't know. Well, I can't even say that. Nope.
See, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, it's nice.
That's what I was gonna say, because I mean, it's bad to kill somebody, but it's also clear as day that person was like a demonic person. So it's like it's more so self-defense.
Yeah,
but that's a mom though. But it's like it's a double-edged shink.
I'm a fan more of death as a release rather than a punishment. I would have liked to see, like, hearing about this, because this is something that I just didn't follow. I would prefer that her mom went to jail for this shit, like, and paid severely for it. But at the same time too, you can't justify extreme reactions out of people like that. Like, this is clearly self-defense. The boyfriend is kind of a gray area.
Yeah. I don't really care too much about him. That's what he get.
But in her case, like, I don't know how old she is. I don't know if she's like 25, 30, whatever.
I believe I'll look that up right now.
But if she's an adult and this was still happening and she spent her entire life sick, this mom of hers took away her childhood, and she deserved, like, that is pure self-defense as far as I'm concerned.
That is pure evil. Like,
yeah.
Like the mom,
like that's right up there with I read a story not too long ago about a girl who was found by a neighbor, and the neighbors didn't even know this couple had another child. And basically this kid was locked in the room for the first 6 years of their life. There was like piles of garbage, put it that way, in the corner. The kid went to the bathroom in like a bucket. Never left the room, nothing like that. The kid was feral and autistic. And when they found it, they ripped this kid away from this woman. They charged her, all this kind of stuff. And like 8 years later, the kid is somewhat functional, but so messed up. And I'm like, that's the kind of person where a lot of people would be crying for to be on death row. I'm like, no, lock them in a room for the rest of their life for 25, 50, 60 years. See how they freaking like it.
I'd agree with
I do
that.
not. I don't believe in the death penalty for the sole fact that the person who did the wrong should not have an easy out. Now, do I believe that they shouldn't get cable TV and 3 square meals a day and be treated nicely? That's also true. But there's no way in hell that they should just be executed and let off the hook like that. Fuck that. So all I say is good on this girl.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of sad, and it's kind of crazy that a lot of these stories are popping up, because it kind of reminds me. I don't know if this was last year when this story came out or the year before, but it kind of reminds me. This kid went missing for like 3 days or whatever, and he came back, and then his mom like hid him for like 3 or 4 years, and was like, if you come out, you're gonna get in trouble, and they're gonna take you to jail type shit. And so like for like 4 years, she was like, oh man, it might even been longer. But like she was like sexually abusing her own son. Like I'm talking like was making the son play dad and like role play and stuff like that, and like mentally abusing him, saying if you say you're this, you're gonna go to jail, blah 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 blah. And he finally got away or some shit and got out. And then
motel type of stuff.
dude, it's crazy what, you know. It's I'm not a parent, but I know I have 2 of them in this call right now. So personally, I can't imagine ever doing something to my kids like that. That's
And most people,
evil.
most parents will tell you that's just the thought of that makes you sick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's why I'm just like,
and heaven forbid, like the way I always put it is, you know how people are always like, oh, this is my son, it's their dog. I'm like, you know what, family, fine, you want to call him your son, fine, but don't ever compare your dog to your actual kid. Your dog at some point, or your cat or whatever, you will put down to save them the pain. As a parent, you will move heaven and earth and fucking climb mountains to save your kid. If somebody touches your kid in that way, every parent I've ever met would rip the person's eyes out of their sockets and go to jail without even a second thought.
with my thumbs. Y'all see my thumbnails? I got thumbnails. I just jump on top of them and just.
Oh, exactly. There's nothing scarier than a parent venging their kid, and if they're like, and no parent should ever survive their kid. I guarantee you, like anybody who is accused of those kinds of things, who is a parent who's defending their kid, is going to jail happy.
Yeah.
But
Smiling.
the parents who do that shit have the entire community of parents going, I want to help this kid, and I want to also kick your biological parent in the crotch and make sure that they can't breed ever again. Like it's a whole other mindset, and you truly do not understand it until you have that kid in your arms.
Just what was that? I don't know what had happened, but I think this dude had it was an old story, but I think this dude must have sexually assaulted this girl, and her dad, when the dude was like being like, I guess, transported from the courtroom to the car or whatnot, the dad walked clean up on him and just. I was reading about that story the other day.
Yep.
I thought, isn't that the old one where he was like at the phone booth one? Where you're talking about that one, the really old one that happened in like the 90s or
I just
whatever?
know it was old, yeah. And the guy was being transported from the courtroom, I guess, to the car because he had just received this sentence, and the dad of the victim was right on the side and walked clean up on him and just one shot clean to the head.
Yep.
And he stood right there, and they surrounded him, and he dropped the gun, and I was like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The problem with that is if you are unsure of who it is and they charge the wrong person, because there was a case I remember in the late 90s where a dad killed the guy who supposedly assaulted his kid, and they found out after this guy was killed that it was the wrong guy. So her dad went to jail for nothing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So you got to be damn fucking sure.
You
but
gotta be sure, but I'm
As a
more than
parent,
positive. I think in that case, I think that was the
probably.
correct person. That was the correct person because
But
everybody was like praising it, and
again,
I
like,
guess at one point it made the news or something. Not famous story.
yeah.
To my
Let me ask
knowledge.
you a question then, Dakella. As a parent, would you rather see the person who hurt your kid dead and have your kid still suffer, or would you like to see the person who hurt your kid suffer and fight to keep them in jail suffering for all of eternity?
With me, it's either or. See, it's like it depends on like what happens because I have two girls. So if it's something like as you know what we was talking about, then yeah, I would prefer that I kill them with my own hands. If I can't get to them, then yeah, I would prefer for them to be in jail for the rest of their life if I can't get to them.
And
So
that's pretty
it's
much
like
how every parent thinks.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if I can't get to him personally, I ain't talking about pay for no hitman or
Oh yeah,
anything
no.
in that nature. None of that. I gotta do it. I gotta see the life come out they eyeballs with my own two hands.
Now I said
Or
earlier
they
that
just gotta
I
suffer.
believe
They gotta
right,
suffer, bro. They gotta suffer. They gotta be up and up for years. I'm talking about
and
rest of their life.
but as I said earlier, I prefer death as a release, not a punishment.
Yeah, not the death
But
penalty. I want them to sit up enough for years.
in the same vein, that's exactly how every parent thinks. You're
Yeah.
not thinking completely sort of logical. You are like, this person hurt my kid. You are going to suffer, whether it's 1 minute or whether they're in jail for 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting thing because a lot of cases can be self-defense. But I find the worst is when you actually find that person and make them suffer in whatever reason, and you find out your kid lied. Those are the
Now
ones that
that is
just
like, yeah,
that those break my heart because it's like you trust your kid, you believe your kid, and then they lie about it, and someone else suffers for it. That is a whole inner turmoil that just I don't think any parent is ever even remotely close to being ready to even like deal with.
yeah.
It's a weird vibe.
That's something I don't think yeah, that's why I'm like, oh man, I think too much about stuff like that too. So that's why I
And
try
that's
to
why we
stay.
watch anime and video games.
Yeah, like, cause that stuff right there have me going crazy.
Wow,
Like,
And that
and I
actually,
have
oh, go ahead, I'll finish up.
no, I
My
was just
fault.
about to say, and
I didn't mean to
I
cut you
have
off.
like a somewhat kind of thought like that once per day, like and I try not to think about stuff like that because I got kids. So yeah, it's hard. That's why I stay distracted. That's all I was gonna say, Devin.
But
I just stay
well,
distracted.
like Hanrald said, we watch anime and video games. It's actually a good transition. I was going to talk about some anime. Going into our next little thing, we got our little news section out of the way. Growing, I want to talk about some anime. New season just came out. I know a lot of first episode just dropped. I've only personally watched, I think, two. I think I've watched Chain Soldier and Solo Leveling so far. I still got to watch a couple more.
Same. We watch the same too.
I liked Solo Leveling, except for I thought we were gonna get a little more from the first episode. I seen a post saying that the pacing was a little off compared to the
The
manga,
first episode,
but
based on the hype, the first episode really didn't like. I was of the four that I watched, Solo Leveling was the worst. Um, it has potential, but if it's going to tell story that sloppily, it's not going to hold up.
no, and that's where I see the post where it was like the pacing could be very bad, and I'm kind
I
of
gotta
hoping not. It was really hyped. I gotta read it still.
I gotta read the manga because
It's a
I
manhwa,
can't.
whatever it's called. It's not a manga. It's a Korean based
Korean.
one. So it's
That's why
yeah.
the controversy about the names, because they were going to change the names, and then the fans, both the Korean and Japanese
Okay,
fans, were
okay.
like, "Hell no!" So they put the names back to Korean.
I
That's why
didn't
they
know that.
have very Korean names. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay,
Um,
that makes
one
a
of
lot of sense.
one of the other ones I watched is the Unwanted Undead Adventurer. Um,
You know
it
what?
had a
That
real
popped up. I didn't
it had a
watch it.
really good first episode, but it's also kind of like, mm, is this going to be good or is this going to be terrible? Like I always refer to those ones as like a knife's edge anime. It could either be really good or really terrible, really fast. Um, I I mm, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm gonna give it another episode. It's worth another episode, but that one was definitely. Mm,
It sounds like a maybe.
it definitely is a maybe, just because it's looking like it's also going to be a harem anime, and the dude's an undead skeleton.
I'm with
Well,
that.
actually, well, yeah.
How you
I'm just
guys feel
kidding.
about Burn the Witch?
I haven't watched that one either. That's one of the ones on my list. You know, the one that was supposed to drop, one that was supposed to drop and it never did was Kingdom season 5. It never fucking dropped. It was supposed to drop a couple days ago and it never did. So
You
I'm
know
kind of
what?
kind of pissed
I
about
think
that.
no. I think it's like a bug in the Crunchyroll app right now because it for sure. I didn't watch it, but Crunchyroll tried to update it because it popped up. You know, remember when you was over here and you seen um I forgot what show that had said recently updated, but it popped up. It does that all the time
It
on
was
my
it was
Crunchyroll
Fire
app.
Force.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you know,
Uh,
Fire Force supposed to be coming back this year. So that's what I'm saying.
so
Like
so
Crunchyroll, I think there's like some kind of bug in it right now that's like stopping the
I
episodes
think they're
dropping when
I
they
think they're
supposed
having licensing issues again. I think
that
that's
might
what
be
it is.
it because it's popping up. It's just not updating.
Hmm.
But the app trying to like, you know,
Because I
well
get slightly different
oh,
feed to what you guys do. Sorry, Kev. I didn't mean to
no,
interrupt you there.
sorry. No. I just looked it up. It's delayed till the 13th, the first
see?
episode.
And it
So it's
said
just
recently
delayed.
Fuck.
updated like 3 days ago.
Yep.
But I'm
Yeah.
actually glad that it's delayed because it gives everything else time to, you know, get their little shine on. Because when this shit drop, man,
Well, the other two that I've watched so far are Tales of Wedding Rings, which is another harem anime that seems to be the theme this season. That was better than it should have been, and yet I'm not sold if it's going to be good or not. It's it's a different premise, which I kind of like. It is an isekai, of course, but the best one of the four that I watched is called Sign of Affection. It's a shoujo anime, and it's about a deaf girl who meets a guy who intrigues her. It's in college. It's not a high school romance, which is kind of
Thank
nice for a
God.
change of pace.
wasn't Tiger mentioning that one the last pod that we did? I think, if
He
I'm not
might have.
mistaken, Kimber.
Yeah, it's good so far. Like I've only seen the first episode, and I actually enjoyed it. It's
Yeah,
really good.
that sounds very familiar.
Yeah. Other than that, I haven't watched anything new. I haven't watched Change Soldier yet, just because I haven't renewed my high dive. But I did watch all of the Apocryphy Diaries the other day with the missus. That is actually better than it had any right to be. I quite enjoyed it. We watched all of season 1 and the first episode of season 2.
Okay, I need to check that out because that's been popping up on my timeline too on my Crunchyroll a lot. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna most definitely check that out. Um, the
it's
8
beautifully
episodes
animated.
already. Yeah, I hope there's a third season to Arc Knight, but the second season here dropped what I guess you want to say like the end of the year last year. So that's the only reason why I'm really including that. But that's pretty gas too. I gotta. I hope
Yeah.
they come back for a third season this year. And plus another one I can't think of that started or was supposed to be coming.
Well, I
I
still
know
have to
High
watch.
Card season 2.
That's what the
Yeah.
one I'm thinking about. I just couldn't. It was right there on the tip of my tongue. High Card 2, the gas. Look, the first season. If y'all haven't watched it, gas. I'm telling y'all,
I'm
Oh my
gas.
excited for
God.
Tsukimichi season 2. That one was a very fun anime. That one's hilarious. That's an isekai one where a guy gets sent and the god or goddess decides that he's not worth it. So he gives him shitty powers. Then he gets kind of like a bonus power. Now he's on the outside messing things up. It's pretty nice. Um, yeah, this whole season seems to be a lot of harem animes.
Yeah.
Harem and H animes. Shangri-La Frontiers come back as well for second season. Firen's come back. Firen won Anime of the Year, and rightfully so. That is probably one of the
Yeah.
best animes I've seen in a long time. It is so good. And it takes a different premise. Like I love because I've been watching anime for so long, I love animes that kind of break the mold. Instead of us going on the journey's already over. This is what happened afterwards, right?
Mm.
Um, because season 2 starts, what, 29 years after Himmel the hero is dead and all these kinds of things. So I really like animes that kind of break the tropes. It's one of the reasons why I love Reincarnation as a Slime. It's one of the best isekai genre breakers of all time. Because he's a nice guy, can do no wrong until he gets wronged. And then he becomes, oh, I'm a nice guy who does no wrong until you piss me off and then I fucking murder you. And I'm excited for that to come back next season in the spring. It's next season has a lot of awesome returning
Respect how
anime.
he became
I
a
heard
demon
about
lord.
that.
I
It's good.
respect that. I respect that.
Sorry, Kev, you're gonna say?
No, I heard that the slime, the reincarnated into slime. I heard that's really good anime.
It is
Yeah.
probably one of the best isekais of the last 10 years. And personally, I'm excited for Konosuba to come back. I know you guys have probably seen my posts on
Konosuba!
the
I actually know that one. I actually know that one.
yes.
I like Konosuba.
Konosuba is probably the funniest
It's
anime I've watched
amazing.
in forever.
My friend
Have you
got
seen
me into that.
Have you seen the movie?
No, I haven't seen the movie.
It's on
I need.
Crunchyroll. Just
Okay, I'm watching that
so
today.
good. The
I'm
the
watching that.
movie is everything Konosuba should be in a condensed timeline, and it is just fucking mint. It is so good.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Okay. Thank you so much, Konosuba. Not many people know that. Thank God.
oh, I've been watching anime for so long that I have animes that you guys probably haven't even heard of that are fantastic. So if you want old recommendations, hit me up.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Because I know they made a Megamine prequel anime.
Which was awful. It was
Okay.
terrible.
I watched
Um,
about 4 episodes and I gave up.
let me put it this way: if you like Megumin, it's amazing. If you don't like her and prefer the other characters from Konosuba, it's not worth your time.
She works better as a team player than her own self.
She's better as the comedic relief, not
Yeah.
the main character. They probably could have done better with Darkness, and even then, I don't think that would have worked. But Darkness is best girl, so
No, so yeah, a lot of the season, like Hanrald said earlier, is a lot of harem anime, etchy anime. So,
yep, it's a pervert season.
and you know, it makes kind of sense. I know a lot more starting to become popular as I pull up another one. One sec. Sorry, hold on. I think. Hold on. There's another one that was supposed to come out. I'm trying to figure out which one it was. There's like a lot of hype around it.
Not Jujutsu
DKL, help me.
Kaisen, the most
No.
overrated anime of all time.
DKL, help me out here. Come on, bro. What are you doing?
Wait.
Oh,
What
Classroom of the Elite season 3 also is coming out. So that's really hype as well. That's a lot. That's a really good anime. If you guys haven't watched that one.
I honestly thought you was about to say Blue Exorcist. That's why I was gonna like, wait, you want me to
Oh, Blue Exorcist as well. Season 3
That's what
finally
I thought
came
you
out
was
as
wait,
well.
that's why I'm like, wait, that's why I didn't say it, you know. That's what I was thinking about. That's why I'm like, hold on, wait. Because you know, season 3 just dropped what, like I said season. Yeah, season 3, episode 1 just dropped, I think, yesterday
Yep.
or the day before yesterday. So I'm actually rewatching all of that. I gotta rewatch season 1 and 2 because I haven't watched Blue Exorcist in years. So yeah.
One Punch Man is also coming back this year, not this season, but this
Yay.
year. And I'm kind of excited for that because I was like, oh shit, Mappa's going to screw this up just like they did JJK's animation stuff. Nope, it's a 2 animation anime. So
Okay.
there's 2 studios working on it, so it should be fucking clean, which is fantastic.
Good.
Not that Mappa can compete with Madhouse in terms of animation, but Madhouse, unlike Mappa, Madhouse pisses off the creators with their really shitty deals. That's why season 2 took so long and why they changed studios. For anyone who doesn't know,
I know.
Madhouse is really good, but man, do they treat the creators like shit.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm excited for One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm
It's
not.
it's another genre breaking anime. That's why I like it.
Oh, we got
Um,
Mashal season 2. If you guys
Yep.
like that, and then we got the new One Piece arc finally is coming out. Egghead Island arc. So
Watch the first episode of that too.
gonna be good. I'm excited. A little bit of new animation, a little bit getting used to, but I understand why they did it because of what's gonna happen later in the anime. Obviously, I can't say anything for spoilers. I can't spoil anything, but it makes sense. So
they find the One Piece, and it's a note about finding yourself.
that's probably honestly what it is. Not even gonna lie.
The review, One Piece has gone so long that whatever it is,
People aren't even gonna really
people,
care anymore. They're just gonna be like,
yeah, people are
oh,
gonna care.
it's
It's
cool.
it's been
It's a One Piece.
going on for what, like 30 years?
25. I think it's
25.
25-year anniversary this year.
Okay, so yeah, that's a
And
long
that's
one, man.
not even.
Or
the
it might have been
main
last year.
plot.
25 anniversary last year, something like that.
And the One Piece is not even the main plot. That's crazy.
I know. It's not. It's just him trying to become the king of pirates.
It is the TV show.
Damn, man, he might have become like one of the greatest writers of all time because
I I'm trying to tell people,
how
but they
did
just
you
don't
how did
understand. They just
you
don't get
how
it.
did you
No one gets
how
it.
how
Top 10 writer in the world.
the main purpose was One Piece, but that's not the main plot.
No, there's so much more going on, which I think it's why
Well,
it's phenomenal.
that's what happens when you build a world rather than a story. And that's what he's done, which is why and I hate saying this, of the big three, it's the only one that works in the exterior world because they're all island hopping. That's the way their world is. And he does it very well. The problem I don't have, and this is why I don't like One Piece, is I don't like the character designs.
That's fair.
That's the only reason I don't watch it.
They're changing it up a little bit with this newer season, which I think is kind of nice.
Yeah, but I mean, this white-haired Luffy looks worse than normal Luffy. So
Wow.
I'm not a fan.
That's
Actually,
Not a
crazy.
fan.
right here though. That looked kind of because it gave him Toon Force. They made him look goofy. That's like a what, a Warner Bros special because Looney Tunes they had their hand in them episodes. So that's like I actually dig that. They gave him Toon Force. They made him look when he transformed, he looks like a cartoon inside of an anime, and that's actually pretty nice, in my opinion.
Well, I mean,
I've never
the,
witnessed something like that before, so it's different to me.
the,
That's
the
why I
change
like it because it's
the
different.
change is neat. The reason I don't watch One Piece is the design. I don't like the designs. I will never shit on anybody other than Kimmer for liking animes that I don't like. I just find it. I tease him about One Piece. I try not to shit on anyone else, but
Yeah, he deserves it.
I
So get to him. Yep.
I like and like because I've been watching the tropes for so long. I like finding things out of the norm. And I watch every genre of anime. I watch horror. I watch shoujo. I watch shonen. For me, it's always just finding something that's told nicely. The Faraway Paladin season 2 did not hit anywhere near as good as the first season. I was very disappointed in season 2. I dropped it in the end.
I
But
finished it.
Protocol Rain was kind of my standout for being a unique anime last season. And that one's about esports. And I genuinely hope that they don't do a season 2. Just because I think they don't have enough material to do a season 2.
Right.
I think where it ended is a proper place to just end it. Is Junbei giving you a hard time there, Kim?
Yeah, dude, he is big time, and I don't know why. It's being fucking. I have to keep mute my mic and leave and stuff like that. So I apologize. He's giving me a big problem right now, and I don't.
See, this
I
is
don't
why you
know
have a
why.
co-host. This is why I'm here. I'm taking
So-
over your show.
Thanks, guys. Thank you guys for taking over and recording and talking for the last 15 minutes while I
So-
dealt with whatever he's been going through.
So I do have a question for Kev though. Knowing that
Kevo.
you haven't watched as much anime as we have, what is it that you look for in a good anime? I'm always curious to see where people's angles come from.
For
Yeah.
me, I like a good story.
Okay.
Story or animation
Kingdom.
or voice actors.
So-
for me,
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I was gonna say, like, what kind of do you have a preferential genre or?
I really like Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
And I know that's
Cowboy
that's
Bebop.
a lot of people
It's
say
old school
Cowboy
good.
Bebop, but it's just
Yeah, not the new one.
yeah. I like
Oh,
Oh, the live
no,
action is almost as bad
no,
as Death Note and Dragon Ball Evolution. Like,
yeah,
no, I'm
no,
talking
no,
about the
and
remake. What's the Cowboy Bebop remake?
You mean
the live
the
action
live
one.
action?
Wait,
the live
nah, wait,
action.
yeah, I'm thinking about something else. I'm sorry. Look, don't mind me. I just had
Yeah,
my
no, I
usual
like it
one
because it gives you
episode
different.
tweet moment.
I keep rewatching that, and it's just for me, it's a show that gives you. It's for me, it's like I could compare it to Watchmen at the comic, where every time you
Mhm.
can read it or watch it, you get a new perspective each time, and that's
That's
what
very
I
much
like
the way
about it.
Akira is. I've watched Akira probably 13 or 15 times over the last 30 years, and I always find something new, even though the movie was supposed to just be the first 2 volumes, and they crammed in too much. So if you watch all 6 volumes of Akira, it's way different. Um, but every time I watch the movie, I'm always picking up something new, even freaking 30 years later. It's ridiculous. But I'm always curious to how people come into anime because some people it's like, oh, I watched Pokemon. Some people it's, oh, my brother, my friend, all these kinds of things.
Pokemon. Oh yeah, the new
So
season.
for
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Pokemon. Sorry,
yeah,
it came to Netflix. It's dropping to Netflix in February. The
Yep.
newest season. Just so you guys know. Just want to throw that out there.
for for me, how I watch anime, it was my older brother who got me Dragon Ball Z, and
Hmm.
then I like Dragon Ball Z, but to be honest, out of all Dragon Ball franchise, I love Dragon Ball, just the regular
The
Dragon Ball.
original. Yep.
Yes, it's so simple. It's so like forget about the aliens, forget the power ups, forget everything. It's just a kid trying to win a tournament.
Well, it's
Yeah.
very relatable. And
Yes,
unfortunately,
and
here in Canada, when they
Ugh.
aired it, they only aired up to the end of
Okay.
the Pilaf saga when he destroys the tour.
no,
And then all of a sudden they released Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, is this the same characters from before? And then
Oh
after
no,
Dragon Ball Z
they
became
cut it short
popular,
like that.
oh yeah, when Dragon Ball Z became popular, they ended up showing the rest of Dragon Ball. So I finally got to watch the rest of the story and understand who the fuck is Piccolo. Because it's like, what the hell? And then in
Why
high
would
school,
they
I got my
do
hands
y'all
on
like that though?
licensing. It
yeah,
literally
I think
licensing,
it went
That's
like that.
which is
fucking
funny
bogus.
because the original Dragon Ball was dubbed here in Canada. Figure that out. So anime here was scarce. Like I grew up buying VHS tapes with 2 episodes of pop to
Mm,
anime.
I still have my VHS tapes from Dragon Ball Z. In
I have my Ranma season 1, season 1 through 4. I've got the original Evangelions, all those kinds of things. I got a
Ooh,
ton of tapes.
okay.
So my anime journey was watch whatever was on TV. It was a cartoon as far as I was concerned. But the first anime I watched was Macross or Robotech for those of you in North America.
You
And
know
I
what?
didn't
I
really
think I heard of that one too.
it's right up there with Gundam, except that Harmony Gold is so shit at putting stuff out that you get like a movie every like 10 or 15 years randomly out of the blue. But it was right up there with Gundam. It was right up there with Star Blazers, which is Battleship Yamato, whole bunch of other sci-fi mecha anime. Um, but I didn't really know what anime was, and in my day, well, I say my day, but geez, it was referred to as Japanimation, not anime, because it was Japan
Yeah, I like
animation,
I like
right?
that.
And
I'm gonna start
so
using that.
he showed me in the same day. It was a Saturday when I was like 12. I got to watch Akira, Bubblegum Crisis, Bubblegum Crash, and Vampire Hunter D. And for a 12-year-old seeing blood, guts, and nudity, yeah,
Okay.
the original one, not the 2000. So
Okay.
this would have been 94. So it was the 6 years
Yeah,
before the 2000 episode came out.
I get, yeah.
And after that, I was just hooked. There was a place here in where I am from where it was the oldest Japanimation watch community in North America. And we used to go there every last Wednesday of the month, watch anime and stuff like that. And in those days, if you gave him, the guy who ran it, a blank tape, he would copy the tapes for you. So I would get series of anime and stuff like that. So I'd go to the movie store, I'd buy like a 12-pack of tapes, I'd give him a list of everything I want, and then the next month I'd come in and he'd have them all recorded for me. And then when I started working, I ended up buying them because I love the artwork and stuff like that. But when I was 12, you don't have a job.
True.
Yeah.
And but no, like I watched Ranma's one of my all-time favorite animes. The best isekai anime I have ever watched was before isekai was even like a mainstream genre, and it's an anime called El Hazard. The original OVA season is fire. It is so good. The animation is a little dated because, of course, it's like 30 years old now. But that's where I started, and then slowly we started getting anime on TV. But when I met my wife is from Panama. You go down there, and everything was dubbed in Spanish. Like they had way more anime. Like you take what we had in North America, you times it by 10. That's what they had. And I was like, what are all these animes? So I came home, I started looking them up, and it was just the beginning of cable internets where it was like 100K a second was super fast. And I was looking for Kenshin, I was looking for Oh My Goddess, I was like just every anime I could get my hands on. And that's pretty much where I've been. Like my wife has seen more animes than probably all four of us combined.
Agreed.
I can pretty much guarantee it.
Yeah.
But that's where this is why I'm always curious about where your journey is. Sorry it took so long to get to that point. It's just
No, it's good.
I like where people come from and where they see things. I mean, Devin grew up on Pokemon and probably should have been watching Doraemon, but the only anime that outnumbers One Piece.
Doraemon. I watch it. Here's the thing. Funny enough, how you're speaking about in Guatemala, I used to watch Doraemon in Spanish.
Mhm.
Love it. Love it.
Longest running anime of all time.
Oh, cool. Did not know
It started in the 70s.
I thought it was Case Closed.
Show.
I was
Nope.
just about to say, so ain't nobody. What about Case Closed? Because Case Closed got like damn near 1,100 episodes. I think something like that.
Case Closed is the longest mainstream anime. The reason why Doraemon is not considered so much is because it's a mixture of anime and live action for kids, like for 4-year-olds. Doraemon has been around since the 70s. But the longest sort of mainstream anime, Case Closed has been around longer than One Piece, but does not have as many episodes as One Piece because One Piece has been continuous. Case Closed takes breaks.
That makes sense.
And it's actually Detective Conan. It's not Case Closed. That's the North American name of it.
But I could have sworn Case Closed had more episodes than that.
They have way more movies than One Piece for sure. They do, which they might have split up into episodes because they love doing that. But no, like the only anime that would have stayed ahead of One Piece in terms of episode count was Gintama, but they stopped doing Gintama about 6 years ago now. I think I want to say 2017, because Gintama started shortly before One Piece and carried on sort of neck and neck for the better part of 20 years. I'd have to actually look up all the dates and stuff, but
yeah, you're right. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that's because Case Closed, they did a couple of years where they just released movies. They didn't do any episodes of anime.
Wait.
What?
Case Closed actually got like 20? Is that 20? Hold on. Okay. I'm just going based off Crunchyroll.
The movies are stupid popular.
It don't have the movies. I'm going based off like the anime episodes. So, Case Closed say 1009. And One Piece.
It's gonna have higher because Case Closed takes more breaks than One Piece.
Yep. According to this,
1089 episodes.
So One Piece is beating Case Closed by 14 episodes. And I was right, the movies did get broken up into episodes, which is why the count is higher.
That could be it.
What do you think, Kevo? Even though you don't watch any of these animes.
I just like hearing the history and the fact. I think I've heard of Case Closed from YouTube Short that it's the longest running anime. I got most of my stuff just by scrolling or just having it in the background while I do other stuff in the house.
Case Closed is the longest running one. It just doesn't have the most episodes. And yet, they're supposed to be releasing the 27th movie this year.
Jeez.
So if you think Dragon Ball and Naruto and all those animes have a number of movies, not even fucking close.
It's Case Closed. That's Case Closed.
My brain still wants Detective Conan because that's what it's called. You think after 27 years, the guy would have found the cure for his growth by now, but whatever.
True.
So for Kev, since you don't know,
He's
he
focused on being a detective.
yeah, he gets poisoned, and they think the poison's going to kill him, but it doesn't. What it ends up doing, having a reaction, it shrinks him back to being like an 8-year-old or 10-year-old kid. So he's a super genius guy who's actually in college, and then he helps his girlfriend and her dad, who's a police detective, solve crimes, but he can't tell them that it's him, and because otherwise they'll come after her and her dad, and so he does like the spy thing to solve the cases and stuff.
So,
My wife loves the show. She's been watching it for fucking decades.
okay.
But that's the premise of it.
Okay,
Yes.
so like Benjamin
it's
Button
a
meets
fun anime.
detective story.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
And
Oh.
the arcs are all like individual cases or arcs.
Yeah.
So you get a start and a finish to the story, and then you just move on.
Okay.
Which is why it holds up. It's not like a lingering thing with filler all the time.
Okay. You know what's funny? Now we're talking about anime. I'm thinking about all the anime I used to watch at my brother's house, like Yu Yu Hakusho and Lupin the Third. Man, I'm getting memories unlocked here.
Well, and that's the thing though, is like growing up in the 80s and the 90s, a lot of kids didn't even know what anime was. It was just a cartoon on TV.
Yeah.
In fact, one of my favorite cartoons was Samurai Pizza Cats. That was an anime. And then I later learned that they weren't given the scripts or very poorly translated scripts to the episodes. So they literally had to make up the script. So the Japanese and the English dubs are two entirely different stories, even though the episodes themselves are the same. In fact, there's a joke in the opening title where it's something like, as soon as we find the script, we might begin the show, I think is the line. And you're thinking, oh, it's because they break the fourth wall. It's funny. No, that's them basically going, we license this anime and we have no translations for the script. It's hilarious.
Diabolical.
Well, what's up?
I wanna see if anyone ever remembers this. It is a French anime, and let me see if anyone remembers Code Lyoko.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone.
Yeah. I remember that from my childhood. That show went hard.
Yeah.
It was on Netflix. I don't know if it is still on Netflix, but man, I got to rewatch the first season. And I'm like,
Pop quiz. What was the first North American made considered anime?
Probably Yu-Gi-Oh. Shit.
No,
Yu-Gi-Oh's not American made.
Yu-Gi-Oh was Japanese made. I would probably say it's not Avatar. Probably it's either be the SpongeBob or
Nope.
probably like Fairly Odd Parents or something.
Nope. Those are American made cartoons. No, the first cartoon in no,
is
Speed
it
Racer
Afro
Japanese.
Samurai?
yeah,
No.
that.
This anime predates Afro Samurai.
Oh, okay.
Although Afro Samurai is one of the North American made animes.
Okay, I thought
It's a I'll say it's a cartoon called Cyber 6.
Sorry, I don't think I've heard of it.
It's a Canadian cartoon where she's a kind of like a Batman-esque kind of hero.
Oh, I see it.
But she's a cyborg, and then she moonlights as a gender ambiguous person, like she's a guy during the day. It's honestly, for like a North American cartoon, it's actually really good. It kind of has the same sort of gritty adult vibes, similar to like the way Gargoyles did, where Gargoyles was meant for kids, but it would not for like little kids.
Mm-hmm.
Even the episode where what's her face, Elisa, I think, gets shot with a gun, like all that kind of stuff. So
by the voice actor Patrick.
Yep. Keith David, probably one of the most prolific
Goliath,
voice actors of all time.
Spawn. He's the president in Rick and Morty. God, he is so good.
He's Dr. Facilier and Princess and the Frog. Oh yeah, the guy's been around.
He's a legendary voice actor. Legendary.
And yet, I don't think anyone's ever going to hit Frank Welker's record. Frank
Ooh,
Welker is the original
Megatron.
voice of
Yeah, you
voice of
can't beat Frank
Scooby-Doo,
Welker.
Fred. He has well over 1,000 credits to his name.
Jeez.
Like he even did the monkey in Aladdin because he does like animal sounds and shit too.
That's tough.
He is probably one of the most prolific, if not the most prolific voice actor after Mel Blanc.
No, Blank.
And on
Honestly,
voice
I've never
note,
heard of these people. So
okay, Mel Blanc is the original guy who did all of the Looney Tunes.
Yes. Okay. So
All
he
of
did
them.
Daffy Duck, and yes. Okay. And
Fun.
there's a famous recording of him doing Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny at the same
Oh yeah.
time. Back
Oh,
and
he used
forth.
to do all the characters at the same time. Here's a funnier story, and this is probably where I'm going to stop rambling. He had a stroke or a heart attack or something. He was in the hospital. He was in a coma, and they couldn't get him to respond. So they turned on the TV, and Looney Tunes came on, and he started responding to the TV. So they started asking him questions as characters as Looney Tunes, like, "Hey Daffy, blah 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 blah," and they actually got him to wake up out of the coma because he was doing the voices while he was in the coma. And he could do all the voices like on the fly, on command. He was known as the first guy named as the man with 1,000 voices.
That is fact.
And
That's
he
tough.
did that right up until the mid late 80s when he passed away. And now there's like 30 people that do all the Looney Tunes voices.
yeah, they have to.
Nobody can replicate that many voices.
Not anymore.
Well, there are a few people out there, but they're few and far between. The other thing too is they have to be able to act. A lot of people is like, oh, I could do voices all day. Well, can you act though? The best
True.
voice actors, they're tried and true actors. They're just not on a camera. In fact, their job's probably harder because it's just the voice.
Who's the guy who does all the voices for Futurama? He does
Billy West.
Billy West. Yeah, Billy West. He does Fry. He does the Professor, Zoidberg, and a plethora of other people.
He did Ren and Stimpy.
And Snippy.
He's been around for a while, but most of his voices are within a certain cadence. I would say my favorite is Jennifer Hale. She has the Guinness record for most video game voice credits. She's the official voice of Cinderella for Disney. Put it that way. She's been around for years. She's done everything. She plays female Shepherd in the Mass Effect series. She plays the new character in the new Ratchet and Clank video game. I can't remember her name.
Wow,
But
she has history.
oh yeah. She's been doing video games for as long as I can think of. She's done DC animation movies, TV shows.
Killer Frost.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was the Emerald Empress in Legion of Superheroes. Holy crap. Jean Grey,
Mm-hmm.
Carol Danvers in Earth Mightiest Heroes, which is the best representation of Avengers.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know voice actors by their names like that, so I can't really say anything.
Oh, you're cutting out there.
Oh, my fault. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Okay, I'm not cutting out anymore. Yeah, I don't really know voice actors by names like that. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. But
I'm an audiophile, so for me, it's I have to know.
that's fair.
Okay.
That's all I got though for today, guys. I think we're gonna wrap this thing up. I appreciate all three of you guys for coming out and spreading your knowledge and talking with me and enjoying the time in the last hour. And I hope all of you guys enjoyed listening. And if you guys want Hanrald on the pod, leave a comment, like, subscribe.
Yeah, it was fun being in a different vein for once, even though I had to take over because Junbei was not behaving.
Dude, no, I don't know. I got to deal with him. So, but no, I appreciate everyone for watching. If you guys do really like the content, please, let us know. And let us know if you guys want to see anything cool, any videos, type shit. So, I hope everyone has a good night, or whenever they do this, they have a good day. Peace.
There's two
Cheers.
Easter eggs in this episode. I just want y'all to know that.